promised to cover the IPCC report, or at least talk about it. And the way I see it, this is, in many ways, this is the deep state in a panic mode, because many smart people have already said a lot of good things about how the report is weak scientifically, and it's underplaying the danger and the risk and the speed of climate change. And I think so that's sort of the how they got it wrong. It's been covered by Professor Wadhams and other people. But I'll try to go into a bit of why they got it wrong. And call me disillusioned or whatever you want. But I tend to think that, 30 years after the climate panel was created, I tend to think that they're not just making casual, stupid mistakes over and over again for 30 years. There's something else going on than, people working for the panel getting it wrong all the time. I don't believe that anymore. I'm sorry. So the deep state wants to keep running this sort of society because of all the benefits for the elite, and so they don't want to put regular people in a panic mode because they want people like you and I to keep doing our thing and keep paying our taxes to them so they can continue their party at the top of civilization. And I must say I'm also a bit disappointed by even great writers from the environmental movement, like James Lovelock, who authored the Gaia theory, the book about the Gaia theory. And he's sort of on the same track as the climate panel and the UN. Lovelock wants to build like 100 new nuclear power stations every year for the foreseeable future, in order to not to save the planet, but in order to save civilization. So Lovelock wants to save global industrial civilization for whatever it takes, and placing that many 100 new nuclear power stations all around the globe every year. That's sort of his solution in ironic quotes. We now see the IPCC and the deep state behind it, and the big oil that wants to sell oil for as many decades as even possible, trying to sugar the pill and play down the severity of the climate crisis, and basically just keep the wheels going, for whatever time it's possible. So when it comes to saving the biosphere versus saving the human industrial civilization, I come from a different way of thinking than James Lovelock and the climate panel. I come from the Norwegian deep ecology tradition from Arne Næss, a Norwegian professor of philosophy in the 1960s and 70s and 80s. And central to his philosophy, which he calls deep ecology, is biocentrism. Instead of human centrism, you put the whole living planet, or every living being on the planet, at the center of attention, or at the center of your considerations and your thinking. So if I was forced to choose between saving civilization and saving the biosphere, I would go for the biosphere every time, because humans cannot live in isolation without all the birds and plants and animals and living creatures in the sea and everything. It's like we're not an isolated lab animal that can live on some gel or something from the scientists. We are an integral part of the ecosystems, and so I think all this talk about saving human civilization is just ludicrous. I mean, even the green movement has succumbed to that way of thinking, to Lovelock's way of thinking. Where it's all about us humans. We can just screw the rest and just save this industrial way of living, and save civilization, and then everything will be fine. But it's like, that's actually the reason Ness called his philosophy deep ecology, because his way of thinking is far deeper, where you actually take into account all the other creatures and all other living systems, while the regular green movement is the shallow ecology movement in his thinking. And of course, Ness was only the first Western academic to write down these very common sense ecological principles that have actually been a part of most tribal societies all over the globe. But he's sort of the first Western thinker who formalized it and put it into an academic context and published his works and that kind of thing. So he's not he didn't claim credit for the concept of thinking about the rest of the planet, and that's much older than him. But it's an important contribution to the way the Western world and the academic world thinks about itself. Of course, it's mostly ignored, even by the Green parties in most countries, because they still have their loyalty deep inside the machine of the industrial society. And people like Ness and yours truly, who used to be on the same list for the election for the Green Party in my earlier hometown Oslo, we are more like considered what do you call that? Trouble, basically. We're like trouble because we have principles. We believe in conserving the ecosystems and the biosphere, and that's like, that doesn't make for good elections, they believe in a way. So yeah, so I've covered most of that. To sum up my view about the climate panel and their new report and what they want to do, I think they're just playing the old delaying game, just delaying the inevitable collapse of human civilization, and in order to keep the profit stream coming in for I think they're talking about 12 more years now. So it used to be 10 years back in 1989, but now they say we have 12 more years to to figure out that shit. So yeah, it's just, it's just bullshit. I think the best thing in a deep ecology, ecocentric, biocentric way of thinking would be for collapse to happen as swiftly as possible, as soon as possible, for global industrial civilization, in order to stop all the pollution, stop all the toxic flows from factories and toothpaste and whatever stupid thing humans are doing. And I think climate change has wrongly been termed as a problem, while all the time civilization has been the problem, and climate change is the solution. So please subscribe to my channel and tell me what you think about these perspectives in the comments below. Okay.